What's up? It's Carti85 and I'm back with another video. And today, this is kind of a follow-up to my video about the Fantano albums, but I'm gonna be talking about my 10 out of 10 albums, okay? I'm a little bit more lenient with 10 out of 10s, like I'm not as rude as he is, but that does mean that I have like 20 or so on here on this list, I think. And so I'm not going to talk for as long about each, but this is just me kind of saying like, this is my taste in music and this is what I think is like a perfect album. Yeah, there's some like double artists on here. I'm not like limiting it to one artist per 10 because that's not how it works. Okay. And yeah, I would love some recommendations if you have any for me based on what I like. I always love it, and let me know what you think. So my first one is, and we're going in alphabetical order. There's no order to this. I'm not ranking these. This is just alphabetical order, normal style, okay? Normal style. First one I have is Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. This is one of the first rap albums that really, like, melted my mind. I'm not going to say the first because I have another one on here that's kind of like the first thing that really got me into hip-hop and rap. But especially this Danny Brown album that was very like electronic and insane and has this crazy production. And I thought that Danny's delivery on it was so cool that he was just like completely doing something that's completely opposite than what is like kind of like mainstream or like considered like likable rap. And he was just kind of doing his own thing. And I absolutely love this album. I think it's pretty heartbreaking when you listen to the lyrics, but you can also listen to this and just have a little fun with it because songs like Ain't It Funny and like Dance in the Water have super crazy and fun beats that are really great to like dance to and vibe to. But lyrically on here, he's talking about like drug addiction and the spirals he's gone down for this. It's literally called the Downward Spiral. There's a song on there called The Downward Spiral. And yeah, I think it's one of the first like rap albums where I was like really looking at the lyrics and like analyzing it and kind of trying to figure out what Danny Brown was like doing with the album and like what he was trying to get across as his point. So yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Next album. Also, I hope y'all like the background. I thought this church looked pretty cool. So, that's my background for the video, I guess. Gotta keep it interesting. But the next one we have is BB Angel by Tinashe, okay? A lot of y'all know Tinashe. You know Tinashe, okay? She was on the Brat album, the remix album. She was on a back-to-back song, which is one of my favorite remixes off the album. She is also the owner of that song, 2 On. I love to get 2 on. That song? You know that song? I know you know that song. She made that song. And you probably know that. Like, I'm acting like this is like crazy, and you've probably heard this album, but BB Angel is one of the best pop albums I've heard in the past like 5 years, I think, like straight pop, because it's very sexy and it's very cool and it has these slick beats that are very smooth, and Tinashe just sounds like butter on these vocals. She sounds absolutely incredible. The album cover, really like it, and yeah, I just think like, I don't know, there's just so many classics on here, and I feel like every song on here I could name. And I like how the BPMs slowly get lower, and it's not a very long album, it's a pretty short album. You could get away with calling it an EP, but I'm calling it an album. And I'm also including EPs on here, so that doesn't matter. But I just have listened to this one a ton, and I really like what it's doing on here. And I like kind of the story flow that it follows. I like that it starts kind of with a relationship and it kind of goes down. It's been a second, but it's a great album. Quantum Baby was a good follow-up, not as great though to me. BB Angel just stands on its own. It's an incredible album that I really love. Now, if you're paying attention, you know that we're at the letter B. What's on here? Brat. You know Brat is going to be on here. I love Brat. I think it's a great album. I love to get 2 on. I don't know why I sang 2 on again. Von Dutch cult classic. Amazing. I love all of the songs on this album. It's a no-skip album, and Charli is incredible. I've talked enough about this album, I feel like. You can go watch my last album review if you want. But But yeah, great album. Next one, I have Carousel from Hell by Lesick Puppy. This is one of the most insane industrial hip-hop albums I've ever heard. She has one of the greatest voices that I've heard recently. The amount of stuff she can do with it is so cool to me, and everything is self-produced, so it's like a very unique sound to her that I love. And they just like get it. Like, they just get what makes like hardcore rap so fun and so interesting to listen to. And especially on this album, every song has its own distinct sound, and it just comes across as this just like chaotic flow of just like beat after insane beat, high BPM, a lot of sounds going on, like just kicking it after kicking it. The bars go crazy, and there's some insane like screaming on here, and some like insanely good deliveries on bars, like some of the flowiest delivery I've heard in a long time. And yeah, Lesick Puppy is killing it. She's coming out with singles right now, and I think that they're coming out with a new album soon, hopefully. They haven't announced that, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So yeah, Carousel from Hell, it's a short listen, but if you're like into that type of thing, then recommend it. I mean, one of my first videos on this entire channel was like a rant about why I love Lesick Puppy so much. So, you know, I just love it. Okay, next we have Dairy Accord 2 by Leroy. Leroy? Who's Leroy? AKA Jane Remover. Jane Remover has a bunch of, you know, different alter egos. And the album Dairy Accord 2, there's 3 of them, 2 is my favorite, is one of my favorite remix digicore, like, hyperpop kind of albums ever. I think the way that Jane is able to remix all these different songs that you can tell that she clearly loves and change them into like these insane 4 on the floor like epic dance beats is so impressive to me. And it's a very funny album. There's a lot of clips that hit really funny. You think that you can just walk into the cafeteria and pick on my foot and smoochy smooch on my football boyfriend? Like, that's really funny. And, you know, I just think it's almost like inspiring that like she just made this without needing to record anything, without needing to do anything. She just had a computer and a dream, and it's like, that is sick. I love that. And I think that is like inspiring for a lot of people. I think it's inspired many people. I don't know. I just think Dairy Accord 2, all of them are great in my opinion. I think Dairy Accord 2 is my favorite, and I think it's perfect. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a song on there that is really bad, and it's not really individual songs necessarily. Like, they are separated individual songs, but it's best to kind of just like listen to it as a full. Whose roosters are crowing right now? It's best to listen to it like as a full experience. It feels like just listening to a DJ set that's epic. All right. Next, I got Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. This album is my favorite, one of my favorite 90s rap albums. All of the beats sound so crisp and nice and like this kind of. I feel like a lot of the times I can't describe things with words, so I need to describe them with body movement. And this is kind of how it feels like. I'm thinking of Gin and Juice. I'm thinking of, I can't remember all the names of the songs, but this one is just like, Snoop Dogg's delivery on it is always so, it's either like really hard hitting or it's usually just like, na 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 na. It's just so good, and it's such a classic rap album for a reason. And it took me a while to get around to this one. And it was my first like Snoop Dogg full listen to an album, and I kind of didn't understand why he was so famous for a while. I was like, okay, it's Snoop Dogg, like he smokes a lot and he's funny, but how did he get so famous? And then I listened to Doggy Style, and I'm like, oh, it's because he makes sick ass music, or at least used to make. I haven't listened to his new stuff. I'm hearing mixed stuff on it, but yeah, Doggy Style is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. It's like, wow. Okay. Next, I got another rap album, another D, maybe more modern era. What are we guessing? I got Die Lit on here. What can I say? I like Playboi Carti, okay? I don't love Playboi Carti, But Dial-It is a perfect album. It is such a good, like, psychedelic, kind of, like, repetitive rap album that I'm not crazy about this music normally. But the way he delivers it and the way he kind of, like, flows on all these beats is just so good. And all these beats feel so, like, in the same genre. Like, they all feel like they work together so well. And I think that Playboi Carti's delivery is so, like, punchy and you know, it's Playboi Carti. I'm trying to be Carti. They want to be Carti. How was that? I'm sorry, I won't do that again. But yeah, incredible features on this thing. It's just like a great album. It's just a great album. I'm gonna Dial-It, okay? I don't think he really has any other perfect albums in my opinion. Not really even close. But this one was a cooker. This one was a cooker. Hey, he had to slow cook this one. I bet. I bet he did. Okay, next one. I have Fountain Baby. Fountain Baby, watch her make it wet. I have Fountain Baby by Omeretta. I truly do believe this is a perfect album. Omeretta, again, I love people that have a little bit of a different kind of delivery. And Omeretta has this very unique and more high-toned voice that is so easy to listen to, and I love it. And I love the way that she flows over beats, and I love whenever she makes, and I love, like, choruses that she does on this album. And that's not to mention, like, the insane, like, Afrobeat, modern pop, like, fusion that it has that's so unique and fun to listen to. Like, I literally cannot get enough of it. This is one of the most listened to albums on this list, because I just think it's so unique, and I love how big it feels. Like, as an album, it just feels so big, and scope and, like, style and the amount of things that it does in one album, but also staying very consistent with, like, its tone that it's trying to set, and I just love it. Who's listening to Black Star by Omeretta? Pretty good follow-up. Not perfect, though, but pretty good. Next up, I have another Charli album, How I'm Feeling Now. Only threw this party for you. Only through this I can watch me pull up to the party, watch me jump, I'm sorry, I didn't know it. But yeah, How I'm Feeling Now is my actual favorite Charli album. I think it's a great pandemic album. I think it really well, like, represents how I felt during that time. And I think that Charli is very vulnerable on this album as well. I don't think she gets enough credit for how vulnerable she is on this one. And I just love the way that she creates all these beats, and the fact that she did it in the privacy of her own home during quarantine. It, like, is like, well, what was I doing during that time? Charli made a freaking album. What was I doing? But it's also okay, because Charli has a lot of more resources, so I feel a little better about it. But yeah, insane good beats, and I would argue that Visions is a better outro for an album than 365. Lock me up, but I don't care, because it goes way harder in my opinion, and is more extended, and it kind of fades out, and it feels like, okay, this is a good end to the album. Great album. My favorite Charli album. Crazy. Love it. Next, I have Let's Hope Heteros Fail, Learn, Retire by Alice Longyao. This is one of the most experimental and noisy and awesome EPs I've ever heard. Okay, Alice Longyao knows how to cook up an EP that does not appeal to everybody, but goes insane. And then she is good at making one that does appeal to everybody. Look at her most recent EP. It's so much more poppy and fun, and they're both so good. But this one is just more insane to me, so obviously I'm gonna like it a little bit more. But yeah, the title track is like, it takes a minute. This took me like 2 listens to really get, but once it like really hit for me and I saw their vision, I was just like, I'm just stunned. It's incredible, and every song on it is necessary and goes crazy, and just feels like a complete switch up. Like, every single song on it feels like a completely unique idea, and I love it. And I love that if it had been an album, it's supposed to be more like flowy, I feel like. But this is so much more like, these are snippets into ideas that she's had. And they all, it's like throwing a ton of ideas on the wall, except they all stick. And Alice's delivery, Alice has one of the greatest vocals, has some of the greatest vocals of like the current era right now. I don't think she's getting enough credit because she can sing beautifully and then she can scream beautifully. Like her screams on this, don't get me started because they're insane. And yeah, I just freaking love this EP, and I think it's like one for the ages, and it really sticks with me, and I love it. It's like made for me, I feel. No, it's not, but I love it. Next, I have Little Dominique's Nosebleed by the Koreatown Oddity. This is another very psychedelic rap album, but not really in the same way as Die Lit. It's more slower and more meandering in a good way. More like, I have the word that's on the tip of my dick, but I can't think of it. But this album is an incredible kind of story album about Little Dominique's Nosebleed, and the titles are very, if you listen to the album, you know what it's about. It's about like, kind of living through a traumatic event as a child, and kind of like his surroundings that he also was growing up in. It just feels like a very clear window into a guy's childhood that is so like personal and great. I love it. But that's not to say that there's not bangers on here, because there are bangers that go insane. And you probably know Weed in LA. I heard they legalized weed in LA. Oh, word. So good. All of them are bangers, and I love this album. I think it's great. There's some really great like spoken word parts, and I think that the Koreatown Oddity has one of the greatest like rap voices I've ever heard. And again, I'm saying like these are the greatest rap albums great voices I've ever heard, but these are my 10 out of 10s. Like obviously I'm gonna be saying that they're the greatest I've ever heard, Okay, next I have Mad Villainy by MF Doom. Okay, I love MF Doom. I'm gonna get an MF Doom tattoo. MF Doom is my favorite rapper. Need to set that straight. He has been since 6th grade. Can you believe 6th grade me was bumping MF Doom in my ears? Whatever. MF Doom, rest his soul, is the greatest rapper that's ever lived, in my opinion. The way he's able to do so many different characters while also relating it back to like real life and his personal life, I feel like is so honoring, or so cool and honorable. And I love the way that he kept himself kind of out of the public eye largely and was just kind of putting out his music, even doing like personas in order to really get people to focus on the music and like what was happening. And this one he's playing like a supervillain, and it's like the coolest shit I've ever heard. It's longer, it's a long album, and every beat on it and every delivery on it is just smooth as butter, and he is just a wonder to listen to. And I think this is one of the only albums, this and the next album are some of the only albums that I still like have consistently listened to for years and years and years. And that is because the next album is Food by MF Doom. I always switch between these two on which one's my favorite, Mad Villainy or Food. Technically this one's by MF Doom and the last one was by Mad Villain, but they're, you got to get into all the personas. Victor Vaughn also has an incredible album that's also MF Doom, but it's Victor Vaughn. But we're talking about Food, and yeah, Food is, I think right now, if you ask me, is my favorite MF Doom album, because I love kind of the more theatrical elements of it. It feels more like I'm watching the supervillain like actually be at work, instead of hearing him rap, which I also love incredibly, and I switch between them. But right now, I think that one is just so good. But again, this one has Rap Snitch Knishes on it, which is his most popular song. But it also has just like Beef Rap is one of my favorites, the opening track. And I love Hoe Cakes, and I love Cookies, and, you know, all of them are great. And I just love MF Doom, and he's gone too soon, and I really miss him. But I love his music, and that will live forever, and I think that's beautiful about art. So yeah, sorry, got emotional, sorry. Next one I have is a little JR. We got Revenge Seekers on the lineup, okay? Don't say it's too soon, because it's not. I've listened to this album probably 100 times, and I'm not even joking. It's kind of crazy. My Spotify Wrapped is going to be pretty Jane Remover coded this year. Yeah, this is one of my this is maybe my favorite like digicore 4 on the floor dance electronic style album. I think that there is just unmatched energy on this album that is just like a beast that cannot be tamed. It is so energetic and fun to listen to, in my opinion, and I love how many layers are constantly on it, how it's never not noisy, how it's always just like bass after bass after bass and all these different kicks. And Jane Remover has such an incredible voice. It doesn't feel like it never feels like a production showcase with vocals in the background. It feels like the vocals actually are a core part of this album that she cared about a lot, and I think her growth over her past albums is just so cool. I love Frailty, I love Census Designated, but this is just the perfect album in my opinion. I don't have any problems with it. There's no skips in my opinion, and even when it gets more soft and more down to earth, like in Fade Outs or Dark Knight Castle, I think it works really well, and I love all the ideas on it. And it's incredible to me that this was made in like 4 or 3 months. I just don't understand it. Also, Danny Brown. Danny Brown is a common theme throughout a lot of these albums, I feel like, or just a lot of these artists, you know. But anyways, next I have another Danny Brown. We got Scaring the Hoes. Stop scaring the hoes. Play that shit, I ain't touching the toes. You don't want to hear the weird shit no more. What the fuck is that? Give me back the aux cord. I remember the words. Yeah, again, another kind of like very insane Jane Remover sample style album with a lot of samples that work very well, but a lot more rap based, and a lot more experimental in a different way, kind of. But JPEG Mafia, best album in my opinion. Love JPEG Mafia. This is my JPEG Mafia love. His production on this thing is S tier. It is, I think, him at his most insane and most innovative and most awesome and most I don't know, just like epic. I don't know, horn based. I love all the horns on this album. But yeah, there's just banger after banger with insanely crazy samples that, you know, if they don't work for you, they don't work for you, and it's fine. But I just think every idea on here really works for me, and I think it's a 10. And that's not even to mention how well Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia are as a pair. They're constantly just going back and forth and flowing off of each other in ways that just sound insane and are so good. I'm thinking of Perfect, I'm thinking of Garbage Pail Kids, and I'm thinking of Jack Harlow Combo Meal. All incredible songs, and I think this is perfect album. Perfect album. What's wrong with it? What's not to love? Love it. I do love other JPEG Mafia. Like, 3 of his other albums are 9s for me, okay? Don't get started, but, you know. Next, I have Some Rap Songs by Earl Sweatshirt. Another more hazy, dreamy album, rap album that is so good. I think Earl Sweatshirt, again, is one of the best rappers that we have right now. I think his delivery is so incredible. It feels a very kind of sleepy at times, but it never feels like lazy. It always feels like he's trying to get points across. A lot of these songs on this album just feel like poems. And especially given the setup for it of Some Rap Songs with this kind of goofy cover, it really is a good contrast, I think, with how, you know, awesome this album is and how hard a lot of the beats go, but also how, you know, how sad it is at times. And you know, I'm glad he's in a better place now, because I Don't Like Should I Go Outside is the saddest album I've ever heard. But that's not true. But you know, this is really a lot. You know, this is really good, and I grew up listening to this one as well for some reason. But I just think it's just such a great album. Such a great album. I don't really have anything else to say. Next, I have Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota. This is a very recent listen for me. You know, you can listen to my more extended thoughts in my other video, but it's really heartbreaking, but it's perfect, and it's beautiful and terrifying and perfect, and I love it. Yeah, I can't talk about this anymore. I can't keep going. Oh, it's starting to rain. Next, I have, this is my final album, actually, The Money Store by Death Grips. Genuinely just one of my favorite electronic albums. I think the rapping on this is some of the best rapping ever, on top of these insane beats that I cannot wrap my head around. It's just perfect. And again, I have more extended thoughts in my other video. But yeah, that's all my 10 out of 10 albums. I kind of have to get going because I don't want my computer to get too wet, because it's kind of raining now. But I don't really care. I like rain, but I don't want my computer to get ruined. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know what your 10 out of 10 albums are. And yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Carti 85. Out!